Alright, how's it going, Rogues Gallery, and welcome to our 20,000 subscriber Q&A. We have a lot of questions to go over, so I'm not going to wait too long before going into it. A lot of really cool questions, and I essentially chose to answer a lot of the questions that I saw just come up over and over again. We also have, obviously, the announcement of the winner of our 20K giveaway. I'm not going to show what we're giving away again, but it's like a lot. It's a lot of stuff. It's like 2 starter decks and a playmat for every single game that I normally cover here, and some extra stuff and a Asuka Langley scale figure and some other stuff. Someone's going to get a very large package. We're going to announce that near the end of the video and answer their question as well. So yeah, let's kind of jump into it. I do also mention that I did read every single question. I read every single person's comments and questions, and I do want to say before we do get started, just thank you so much. The kindness and the support is beyond appreciated. I'm very humbled by a lot of the words that people said. So I did read everyone's question. So if I don't answer your particular question, just know I did read it and you were very much appreciated. All right, let's jump into the overlay. And this is totally not the second or third time that I've taken this part for various reasons. But here, look, here we have the overlay. Look, it works this time. All right, so let's go into it. We have like a bunch of questions, but they're gonna be pretty quick answers, and the whole video is not gonna look like this. We're gonna have some visual aids as well. And so I'll read the whole thing. So this one says, I'm jumping in a bit late, but congrats on 20K. I've been following for a while, since around the Flesh and Blood Arcane Rising. Since I was curious about the game, and this channel was recommended to me. Yo, YouTube doing me good. Sometimes does me good. I just want to say I really respect your approach to content creation. It's tough going out against the grain, yes, for sure, especially in TCGs. But I'm sure it's a level of fulfillment above what many creators might feel. I do really love what I do, genuinely. I've been wanting to try my hand at making content. Go for it. And I might give it a go now. I feel a pop of inspiration. Seriously, just go for it. There's a common saying that I like to say, that it takes 10 years to become an overnight success. You won't get there unless you actually try. As for the Q&A, if you had to start from scratch collections and content creation, but have the knowledge of what you do now, what would you do different? There's a lot of stuff. Would you execute your content approach differently, or pick up some different showpieces for anything you collect that you may have passed over? Always keep what you're doing what you're doing. Looking forward to the future. So, yeah, there's some stuff. The big thing is like playing the YouTube game a little bit better. When you get into YouTube, especially when I did, at least, I was like, wide-eyed, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and I was like, I'm just gonna make content that I love, that I'm passionate about, and people are gonna find it, and they're gonna follow me, and it's gonna be great. But you don't really factor in all of the playing the YouTube game stuff. And what I mean by that is optimizing your video for the algorithm, making good eye-catching thumbnails that that utilize human psychological patterns and that kind of stuff, contrasting colors, faces. People are really drawn to faces. I still have yet to frequently put my face on thumbnails. I kind of just I'm I don't know, like a YouTube boomer that in that regard. But that's something that I wish I focused on a lot more early on. Just focusing on making really good thumbnails, really good titles, and playing the whole YouTube game. Like, those are the things that like draw people into your videos and into your channel, and it's those kind of stuff that will help you get the views and help you get the followers and stuff that you actually want. And then collecting wise, not really. I just collect what I like. That's how it's always been. I play what I like, I collect what I like, and for the YouTube channel, I support and cover things that I genuinely like and enjoy. And if I'm not liking something or enjoying, then I don't. For any degree, right? So, yeah, thank you for your comment. We're going to pull another one up. So this one says, congratulations, I discovered your channel because of the Gundam TCG, which, there's a lot of folks who joined the channel from the Gundam TCG, which is really cool. And I've been loving the beta box battles. We have definitely more of those to come. Question, as someone who buys a lot of TCGs, or who plays a lot of TCGs, how do you feel about meta deck building? Like, do you think meta decks will always beat decks that have been made for more fun? or does it not matter so much because most TCGs rely on the luck of the draw, heart of the cards, etc. So we're going to talk about how I feel about meta decks and like net decking just in general. It's not something that I've actually talked about much here on the channel, and that is that I don't mind it at all. In fact, I think it's generally a really, really nice place to start. Now, it can be your end-all, be-all. Like, you can be the kind of person who just meta decks or net decks, whatever the top meta deck is, and that's fine. But for me personally, I like to think of it kind of as a starting point, and then I can kind of branch off from there and experiment from there. Because the people who devised these decks spent so much time or just a huge collective effort to come up with these that it's somewhat arrogant to assume that you yourself, a single person, can make a deck better than the deck, you know, that's formulated through thousands of hours of testing by, you know, the top players for that game. You know, you might be able to, you know, that's kind of the dream, right? To come up with your own deck and you bring it to an event and you kind of crush. And there are some players who can do that, especially people who do like counter meta picks, who know what the meta deck is, and then they bring in like counter decks and all that kind of stuff. But I generally, to answer your question, I don't think the meta decks are always the end-all be-all. I think, you know, rogue decks do have a shot, especially in certain card games. There's always a little bit of a chance to win. But I do think they have that advantage for obvious reasons because of all the time that goes into it. And I don't fault anyone for net decking or doing meta decks. And like I said, I feel it's a really good place to start if you're looking to build a deck yourself. You can also, like I said, just do from scratch and just go for it. Just know meta decks are like that for a reason, and they're usually, you know, developed over many hours through, you know, much playtesting of some of the top players of whatever particular game. So yeah, I hope that answers that. All right, so here we have another question. We're gonna see this a lot. Congrats, mate. 20K is a really nice milestone. Yeah. You reached 20K and I got diagnosed with autism, so everyone has a milestone. I guess that's one way of looking at it. Anyway, I'm not really believing into my luck because I never win literally anything. I was wondering if this question isn't personal. What do you do for a living, considering all those figures and stuff cost a lot? Or have you ever thought about living in Japan? Considering your hobbies, it would fit. Cheers from Vienna. Cheers. So I do content full-time. I'm a full-time TCG content creator and YouTuber and shoutcaster. I have been for the last like 4 years or so, and I do that through a combination of support from viewers on Patreon. I literally couldn't do it without my patrons, as well as stuff like sponsored videos, shoutcasting jobs, the merch store, and then like is there anything else? Merch store, shoutcasting jobs, sponsored videos, Patreon. Those are the big ones. I do sell some cards here and there as well, and then I do sell, like, you know, some other stuff too. But yeah, I'm a full-time content creator. Have I ever thought about living in Japan? I love going to Japan. I spent about a month in Japan last year, and I'm gonna be in Japan for a few weeks this year. Would I ever live there? Maybe, but it's difficult because I live with my wonderful partner Robin, and that would uproot her job and what she's got going on here, and she has a very nice, well-paying job, and so because of those reasons, we likely won't ever live anywhere outside of probably even Oregon, maybe Washington, but I do love Japan, and I love visiting quite a bit. A lot of the part, we'll talk about this a little bit later because there's a lot of questions asking about figures and stuff, but a lot of it is just, you know, knowing where to buy and not overpaying for things. Congrats, Arzier. I got back into TCGs middle of last year and was able to find your channel from looking up what games to get into, and you basically covered everything I was into. Hell yeah. From classic Bushiroad games like Vanguard that you recently picked up to Shadowverse Evolve, and new games like Grand Archive. So thank you for being a gateway back into the hobby I really missed out on. My question is, if you could arrive one TCG that's been discontinued, what would it be and why? That is Dragoborn Rise to Supremacy. It is also an old Bushiroad game. Not a lot of people know about this because it didn't last very long. I love Dragoborn. The game rules. It was made by Mike Elliott, and yeah, it is just super cool. It had like this dice mechanic, but not always like so. yes, higher numbers are generally good, but they weren't always good. So like if you rolled like a 1 or 2, it's not always bad because certain cards have certain effects based on the number of the die. The art is absolutely fantastic. This is one of my favorite cards, actually. Hrist of the Infernal Blades. I have this as a playmat, and I have some foil versions of this. I also had really good card stock. You know, kind of like Bushiroad, Weiss Schwarz quality like card stock. But like all of the original art, everything that went into this. I have a full set of this game. It only lasted for 5 sets, but I genuinely love Dragonborn, and this is the fifth and final set. And it did have artists from like you know, some notable like Magic the Gathering artists, like Steve Argyle did art for this game as well. So it's kind of like, I don't know, this game is cool. I think it's ahead of its time. I think if it came out now with the way the industry is, I think it would do a lot better. I'm gonna try to get a little bit faster with these because we do have a lot to go through. Congrats on 20K, my dude. I found your channel while I was looking for Shadowverse Evolve tips. Yo, let's go, Shadowverse. I don't know what to ask, but I'll try. How do you play so many TCGs? I can barely do that with 2. So basically, what I do is I kind of like compartmentalize it down, and I have the capacity, since I am full-time with this, to cover about 3-ish games in a large degree. And those ones right now are Shadowverse, Grand Archive, and then it's going to be Gundam. Those are going to be my three main games right now. It's mostly Shadowverse and Grand Archive. Absolutely adore those games. And then obviously Gundam as well, but we're still kind of waiting for it to come out. I do have a news video that's going to be coming out soon talking about some new stuff. And then other than that, a lot of it is kind of like, you know, like just checking out the starter decks, playing the games, checking the mechanics. I really enjoy that kind of like that initial experience. I play almost every single TCG that comes out. Definitely every single TCG that is, I would say, like, not an indie game. So everything from, I have it here because we're going to be making a video on this soon, like Ultraman, everything from stuff like Ultraman to One Piece to Star Wars. I have played all of them, Union Arena. So I do kind of like play them here and there. And just honestly, playing the starter decks, playing at the base level is not that expensive. It's when you start building the competitive decks when things really get expensive. And so yeah, I basically just focus on the ones that I'm really interested in. When I was not full-time on YouTube, when I was just working like a regular 9-to-5 like retail type job, I really only focused on like a couple games, and I didn't buy a ton. It was a lot of singles buying, a lot of just like pet cards, that kind of stuff, and a lot of budgeting, just focusing more on what I mostly enjoyed rather than the grander scheme. Didn't really buy a lot of boxes back then. Well done getting 20K, thank you. I hope it's not too long before you hit 100K. Me too, but it probably will be. My favorite TCG channel. Wait, you know what? Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Thanks to you, I picked up Wheatcross and Shadowverse. Hell yeah. Glad to see you've gotten into Vanguard. Don't play as much as I'd like, but enjoy the artwork very much. I agree. Artwork in Vanguard is excellent. From mechas to like waifus is great. My question is this: if you had the capital, would you ever own an LGS? And if you did, aside from TCGs, what would you stock? Keep up the good work, and all the best from the UK. Okay, I'm going to get pretty real here. I would never want to own an LGS. I have known people, friends, who have owned LGSs, and it has never gone well. Owning an LGS and running an LGS is very difficult. And I've seen a lot of my favorite ones basically go bankrupt and have to, like, you know, sell the business and all that kind of stuff. It's really tough. And I have a lot of respect for the LGS owners who are genuinely passionate about what they do and have, like, great communities and, you know, offer like an awesome place to play for folks of all TCGs. So a lot of respect for those people. But yeah, I don't think I would ever want to own an LGS. If I had like infinite money and like not going bankrupt was an option, yeah, sure. But like realistically, no. But it had infinite money, yeah, I would do it. And I would cover all the games. I'd have like a biggish space. And then I would have all the cool games. I'd have a section for Shadowverse and Grand Archive. I'd have like a picks section, like here are like the sets of the month or something like that. So these are the coolest sets of the month. I'd have like staff picks, all that kind of stuff. I would support as many cool games as I could. I'd have like Bushiroad games, obviously, but then I'd have stuff like, you know, Grand Archive, and I'd probably also carry Gunpla and like minis too. If I, once again, I have the space, I have infinite money, I'm doing it. That's what I would be. It'd be like a very like physical focused hobby, you know, board game tabletop shop, and like board games and stuff too. All right, congrats on the milestone. I'm new to your channel. Well, welcome. But I've thoroughly enjoyed your personality and content. I appreciate that. My question is, what inspired you to make your own characters, and how many are there? Here we are on redzonerogue.com. This is our merch store, and here we have merch for all of our characters. We have 4 main characters right now. So we have our main character, Katsumi. In fact, we have her... This is her, current version. This is kind of like her iconic outfit, I guess you could say, with art done and designed by great artist friend Gule, who does art for Grand Archive. And we're going to be redesigning all of the other 3 characters to be in this style, so they look like they fit in the world. But Katsumi is our channel mascot. She is our main character. So we have 4 total, 3 others. Among the others, we have Vea, who's very spicy Vea, fan favorite character. This is drawn by Honshu, another Grand Archive artist. This one is a very spicy one. This particular art piece, by the way, this is my prompt for this is like, I kind of want a witchy thing, yada yada yada. Here's some examples, and then I was like, go for it. Usually I'm like, okay, let's tone it down a little bit, but this one I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna censor you at all or whatever. just go for it. So this one's quite spicy. So we have Vea. We have Etoile as well. And so here's Etoile, also art done by Honshu. Once again, Vea and Etoile are going to be undergoing redesigns like Katsumi did here. Then we have Villain or Asami. So Asami is her actual name. It's Asami Reika. And here's Asami. So once again, all these characters will be undergoing redesigns. Yeah, they're gonna be more like modern, wear like cool, like hip street clothing and all that kind of stuff. Here's another example of all the 3 characters side by side without Villain. So we have obviously Katsumi, Vea, and Etoile here. And the idea is like that they're gonna end up, existing, in their own world, and in like a world that makes sense, right? And so I want to do like little web comics and little like one panel or 1 page manga comics, and just like little funny things here and there. So I have a lot of plans for these characters, and hopefully the goal is that people who watch the channel come to know who these characters are and their personalities and all this stuff. I've written a bunch about them, and eventually we can maybe use them for other things that maybe we'll talk about in a little bit. Some other folks asked some questions that might pertain to that. Congrats on 20K. Found this channel recently due to Gundam. Hell yeah, and look forward to seeing more Gundam content. Who is your favorite Gundam pilot and why? Char. my favorite Gundam pilot is Char Aznable. And I just really enjoy his character. I love how ridiculous he is. I love how he's kind of like, he's definitely a villain, but he's a villain that you can understand his motivations. He's out for revenge, and he's like a villain within the villain faction. And I really like, generally speaking, his like character arc throughout the original series, as well as Zeta and into like Char's counterattack. I actually kind of don't like him as much in Char's counterattack, but yeah, Char is my favorite pilot. I think there's a reason why he's like so iconic, and like they keep trying to make more Char characters. He's just a fantastic character. So yeah. Second favorite would be, well, my favorite when I was a kid watching Gundam was Duo Maxwell, the pilot of the Death Scythe. This guy. Because that Death Scythe is like my favorite Gundam, at least was when I was a kid, and so I like Duo as well. And also he was like, I don't know, the most sensible, the coolest of the Gundam Wing cast in my opinion. So yeah, those are my 2 favorites, Char and Duo Maxwell. And yeah, obviously we definitely got a lot more Gundam content on the horizon. Okay, so here is a really long one. Congratulations on 20K subscribers. I remember when I found your channel, it was just Force of Will. That was a long time ago. We're almost at our 10-year anniversary, so you've been watching for a long time. It's crazy to see how much growth your channel and community has had since then. I love seeing all these new card games and can't wait for the Gundam TCG. A lot of love for the Gundam. Personally, congratulations once again. Thank you for all the amazing content you've made throughout many years of watching, and good luck to everyone in the giveaway. I can't wait to see what awesome stuff happens in the TCG space this year. There's a lot of crazy stuff happening this year. So they got 3 questions. We'll try to answer them quickly. Since you've played a ton of card games, have you ever put any thought into making a homemade card game yourself, whether it was a long time ago or recently? The answer is yes. I do have a skeleton of ideas for a card game. It's not going to be a trading card game. It's more of like a board game LCG type thing, probably leaning more into like a board game style. It is... Alright, so actually let me pull up some visual aids to help, because you've already seen the characters, right? Assuming you've been watching the whole thing from start to finish. So the general vibe of the game will be something similar to like Star Ocean here. It'll be something similar to Star Ocean and Phantasy Star. And so what I mean by that is that it's going to be kind of like a sci-fi fantasy anime style. Obviously it's going to be anime style, knowing the things that I enjoy, though I do like, you know, your high fantasy western style stuff. But I definitely love this kind of like, you know, this sci-fi fantasy vibes that Star Ocean and that Phantasy Star have. So it would have similar art styles and vibes to that. I would likely commission artists that I know and that I'm friends with, and the gameplay itself would be more akin to like a cooperative dungeon crawler type thing, similar to like an Arkham Horror, sort of, where you have like, you build out your map as you play. And I do want to have cooperative elements. So it's kind of like almost like a PvE style game, but you can play it single player. I feel like there are these niches that could be really, really popular that a lot of people ignore right now in the card game industry, and that would be like single player games and co-op games and PvE style stuff. And I think incorporating all this into like a really fun thing could be really, really cool. And so I've been toying with this ideas and mechanics for a little while. I don't know how I would pay for it. I have really, really high standards with everything. Obviously, I would be hiring like really talented artists. It'd have to be some sort of crowdfunded thing. I don't know. Maybe. I have an idea. I have a story idea, and I had to make it make sense why you keep going in. And I have like world and themes, and I think it's the ideas that I have. I think personally are really, really cool. Not only did I get, you know, ideas from these thematically, I also got a lot of inspiration in terms of like plot from something like Chrono Trigger, as well as Sea of Stars. So you can kind of see maybe where all of this coalescing. We'll see if I ever do anything with it. It's a huge undertaking, and I've been kind of like toying with it here and there, but there's a reason why I'm building up all these like Red Zone Rogue characters as well, because they are characters that will appear in any game that I end up making. So yeah, keep an eye on that stuff too. So that's the first question. Second question, what is my favorite Gundam mobile suit design from any Gundam series or material? I prepared this one. Hold on. Let's New Gundam Verka. Well, it doesn't have to be the Verka. That's just this particular model kit, this particular Gunpla version. But the New Gundam from Char's Counterattack is my favorite Gundam. The original R8 the RX-78-2 Gundam is like pretty close, but I liked this updated version. I think it's really, really cool. So that's my favorite mobile suit. And then go back to the overlay. Let's see. Last question. What is our favorite Gundam model kit? There you go. The Verka. The new the new Gundam Verka. Though I also have, it's too far. I have a Sazabi over there too that I'm really looking forward to building. Haven't got around to that. Have I made any custom painted or kit bashed? I have not. That's a little bit too extra for me at this point. I wish I had more time to do that. It would be really cool to do though. I am not opposed to that. I really should, like, I don't know if people like it. I've really toyed with like streaming some Gundam kits and all that kind of stuff. It's been a long time since I actually put some stuff together. So I think it could be a lot of fun. All right. Anyway, next question. As I close all these tabs. All right. As a newer person to the hobby, thank you for all the coverage on a bunch of different TCGs. You are very welcome. It's been fun watching your content on them, even if I haven't been able to play them myself yet. That's one thing, like I said, that's kind of like the point of a lot of them. I understand that people can't afford to check all these out, so I'd like to provide a space to do that, especially if I think the games are interesting. As a person who creates TCG content, how much TCG content do I watch on my own time? What type of TCG content do I personally enjoy watching, or would you like to see more of? Well, personally, I actually don't watch a ton of TCG YouTube, just because I'm thinking about card games all day. But there are some channels that I watch. Mostly they are friends of mine, so stuff like Main Deck, Tolarian Community College, Spike Feeders. These are all people that have been on my channel before. The stuff that I do watch, maybe let me pull up my YouTube feed. All right, so here's the stuff that I do watch, and as you can see, you know, we have stuff like Friday Nights and Loading Ready Run. Obviously, as an official Cardfight Vanguard. Nimi Nightmare. I don't watch a ton of YouTube or VTubers, but I have been enjoying what Nimi has been doing. But I do watch other stuff, like I watch some tabletop stuff, like some wargaming. So the play on tabletop is fantastic. Here's Trash Taste, as I mentioned before. I do watch some video game style content. I like Fighting Cowboy. He's a cool dude. And yeah. Shout out to like other friends like Main Deck. Northern Lion is like one of my favorite. I think Northern Lion is just straight up my favorite YouTuber. So I don't actually watch a ton of TCG content. I do watch some, but a lot of it is, other stuff. Unironically, big fan of Emerichu's Anime Cafe videos. I really enjoy them. And there's other ones here from YouTubers that don't frequently upload that I really love, like CGP Grey and Abroad in Japan. So there's a lot of varying degrees. Hey yo, it's me. Look, it's me. So yeah, that's what I like. What would I like to see more of? Honestly, I don't know. My initial answer would be like more of the kind of stuff that I do, but it's really tough, and there's only a couple channels that even do that aren't super small. I know there are smaller channels that do it, but it's really hard to grow a following covering multiple non-big TCGs. But it would be cool to see more people in the space for sure. Yeah, I don't know. Just be passionate about what you're doing. I think that helps shine things through. But it's not the end all be all. Like I said earlier, learning the YouTube game and playing it, that's a big part of it. Congratulations! What's your favorite TCG event you've been to so far? This is by Glenny Boy. He's actually the Grand Archive current world champion. And not to gas up Glenny too much, it is actually Worlds where Glenn won. It's my favorite event for a lot of reasons. The community aspect of it was great. I was casting the weekend, so I was working the weekend, but just hanging out with everyone, with all of the artists, with the community, playing in the recollection event that they had, which was really fun. I think I went like 4-1 or 3-1. I lost once. Was super fun. Yeah, it was just, the name of the game is that it was just fun. It felt like a mix of an anime convention and a TCG tournament in all of the best ways. They had like a huge art gallery, and at the end they just auctioned off all the art, like silent auction. I actually ended up winning one of them. It's over there. So yeah. Worlds. If you are curious about Worlds, by the way, I made a whole video on it. Also, you might not know, but I playlist everything that I make very meticulously. They're all meticulously placed into playlists. So we're going to go find the Grand Archive playlist, view full playlist. And then from here, I just find the Worlds video. So the Worlds video last year was here. How this anime TCG is crushing it. Grand Archive TCG World Storytime. If you want to know my experience at Worlds last year, this is the video right here for it. It was great. Obviously my favorite, so can't recommend it enough. Congrats on the milestone. My question is, what's my favorite figure? I've been wanting to get into scale figures. I already collect action figures. So this is a hard question. There's a ton of scale figures that I really enjoy, but there's one in particular that you can't see on screen because it's so big, and I really love it. And that, of course, is, well, actually, let's kind of go to the big me. Hello, big me. That is this Arknight's Schwartz figure. Look at this. Let's see if we can get her in focus. She's beautiful, dude. She's very, very big. As you can see, giant, awesome looking crossbow. Look how big she is. She's so big. She's normally back over there on top of the boxes, the TCG boxes. But I think other than my Shadowverse figures and my Side Games figures, like Forte is probably my favorite. But I just wanted to show off Schwartz because she's so big. She doesn't get enough attention. I wish I could fit her on the shelves, but I cannot fit her on the shelves. You haven't decided where to start? Start on stuff you like. I made I don't want to say a mistake, but I started buying figures that I just like the look of, rather than from like series and games that I really enjoyed. And I have a lot of figures now. I have way too many. And I wish I had like, you know, been more focused at the start. The giveaway stuff looks absolutely awesome. Really glad you thought of the new players while choosing and the products for it. Yeah. I always try to think of like the new player experience. I think it's really, really important. I don't think enough people do. As for my question, what is it that motivated you to start making content for these niche games? Was it passion, a friend's suggestion, or maybe just on a whim? It's because I love these games. It's like the easiest and most straightforward answer, but it is. It's because I genuinely love these games. When I started making the YouTube channel, I was playing Magic at the time, and then also Force of Will. And I was like, I couldn't make a Magic channel, but there's like a million Magic channels. So instead, I'm gonna make a channel about this other game that I really like, that like almost no one's talking about. And so I did Force of Will, and that philosophy's just kind of gone on through Red Zone Rogue, just talking about games that I genuinely really, really like, and that I feel that deserve more attention. And so, yeah. That's exactly why. It's because I genuinely really, really like these games. Great job making this far off the back of stuff you enjoy. Hell yeah. It's pretty motivational to see. I know you do casting and the game ambassador stuff with like SVE, but I'm wondering if you've ever been on the more competitive side of any TCG, like grinding tournaments and such. Yes, when I was much younger, I played in competitive Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments. This is way back Yu-Gi-Oh! First couple sets, Yada Garusu, Yada Lock days. This is where you could run Confiscation, Delinquent Duo, Forceful Sentry. You could run 2 Graceful Charities. Pot of Greed was just a one of. Like, this was the Wild West, and it was a lot of fun. Well, Yada is not fun, but the other stuff was fun. And then I played competitive Magic. I had pro points. Well, not anymore because they're not a thing anymore. But back when pro points were a thing, I had pro points. I topped some big events. I cashed some big events. I never got into the top 8. I was usually like a 13th placed type player. But yeah, like way back in the day, like Onslaught era, I played a lot of competitive Magic. But I'm very happy where I am now, and I like my place in the industry, and I love doing casting, and I really hope to do a lot more casting at events, namely stuff like Grand Archive, obviously Shadowverse, and if Gundam needs casters, I have a pretty good relationship with Bandai actually, so maybe we'll see if they ask me to do some Gundam, but I would definitely say yes to it if they wanted me. All right, congrats on 20K. You're the one that got me into Grand Archive and Shadowverse. Hell yeah. What sites do you prefer when getting figures? Okay, well, let me show you. There's a couple of really, really good websites that I use. I usually use like only a couple different ones. So I recently did a video that no one watched, where I bought a big merch haul from Surugaya. Surugaya's pretty good, but my favorite ones are gonna be AmiAmi. AmiAmi is a great place to get both secondhand figures as well as brand new figures. It's where I pre-order most of my figures. AmiAmi is just generally like fantastic. AmiAmi is like kind of like my go-to, but it's not the only one. I also use, like I mentioned, Surugaya, but the other one, the second most frequent one that I use is Mandarake. Mandarake is a fantastic like secondhand store. You can get amazing prices on super rare stuff here. If you want really niche obscure crap, Mandarake is great. This is where I get like my WeCross figures, like stuff that, like, who the hell has this? you know, Mandarake. So definitely recommend Mandarake. Definitely recommend AmiAmi. They have great customer service too. I've never had a problem with them. Yeah, I still actually have a couple figures on pre-order. Also, another pro tip: if you want like TCG stuff, like Japanese TCG stuff, Mandarake or AmiAmi is another pretty good place to get new ones. They don't have a lot of like secondhand stuff. Hey, look, here's the new Shadowverse Evolve stuff. But if you want like sleeves, here's some of their Godzilla stuff as well. Hell yeah. Yeah, this is a good place to pre-order that kind of stuff. It's actually ends up being cheaper than buying it from retailers in the US when they charge like $20 to $25 for a sleeve pack, because you can get the sleeves here for like here we go, Shadowverse. You can get the sleeves here for like not very much at all. Let's see if we can have some. Yeah, 900 yen here for this sleeve. And so 900 yen is about oh, you can't see it here. Let me scooch it over. It's about $6. You still have to pay for shipping, obviously, but what I do is I pre-order them and then have them all ship in one big chunk, so it doesn't have extra shipping prices. And so $6 beats like the $20+ that a lot of like the US retailers sell them for. So buy from the source, man. And then you can also get that kind of stuff from here. I will also say that Surugai is a good place for sleeves as well. So yeah, those are my recommendations. Not sponsored, but I would definitely take a sponsorship if they would like. Congrats on 20K. What do you think the best entry-level TCG out there out of the ones that I play? Shadowverse Evolve, 100%. Without a doubt, Windmill Slam, Shadowverse Evolve. It's really easy to play. They have the companion app that takes care of all of your play points and your life totals. It's just super beginner-friendly. The mechanics are really easy to understand, but it can get obviously more complicated when you start building really complicated decks. But it's just low cost of entry. Competitive decks are really affordable. Great companion app. Great starter product. Shadowverse Evolve. 1,000,000%. Hands down. I think Grand Archive is really good as well, but it's a little bit more of a complicated game to play. I would recommend Grand Archive as well. But out of them, Shadowverse Evolve, for sure. What is my favorite hot dog toppings? Alright. I'm kind of a boring hot dog topping guy. It's usually just ketchup and mustard. You can get a little fancy and get some really nice like honey Dijon mustard on there, and it's really good. You be fancy, get your like fancy Portland ketchup and some like honey Dijon from France if you want to be like really extra. But my wild pick is salsa. Salsa, like chunky salsa, is actually really, really good on hot dogs. And hear me out. It uses tomatoes like ketchup. It's good. It's actually good. All right. Congrats on 20K. I love hearing about more TCGs, or more niche TCGs. So my question would be, are there any games that I've had not a chance to be translated into English that I think deserve a shot? All right, let me pull up Google. Fire Emblem Cypher. Yes, this game is super cool. It never got an English release. It is currently now canceled, but this game is rad. I did a video on it a long time ago. I think the art is fantastic. Just Fire Emblem Cypher rules. This is the biggest shame. It never got an English release. The game is very cool. So yeah, this is my pick. Fire Emblem Cypher. If I could get any game translated into English and maybe brought back from the dead that's not Dragoborn, Fire Emblem. Yeah. Windmill Slam. Don't even need to think about it too much. Next one. Do I have any manga recommendations? Yes. Let's bring up Google again. All right, so there are 3 manga that I am currently reading ongoing series for, and I have been for a little while for at least 2 of them. The first one is Free Run. The cat's out of the bag now, and it has been for over a year. Free Run is absolutely fantastic. I actually started reading this like a few years ago when it first got its initial English translation on recommendation, and I absolutely adore Free Run. I love how good the anime adaptation is, but the manga is also incredible. If you like the anime, do yourself a favor, read the manga. I'm not one of those people who are like, oh, manga is always better than the anime. Definitely not true, but Free Run has a fantastic manga. I can't recommend it enough. Free Run, so good. And I have all the upcoming issues on like pre-order. So I'm up to date on the English side of the Free Run manga. Next up, Record of Ragnarok. This is rad as hell. This is the coolest shit. It's basically humans versus gods in a battle, not really battle royale, but in like a tournament arc where like the Valkyries are pitting them against each other because, well, the gods have decided to just destroy humanity. And they're like, no, we need humanity to, you know, be able to prove themselves. And then it's just like these fights to the death. And so here this is Lubu versus Thor. That's who you have on here. It's so cool. The manga for this rules. The anime sucks. The anime is really bad, and the animation's just atrocious. Maybe they got better, but I did watch all of the anime. I stuck through it, but man, the animation's not good. Does not do it justice. Let me put it that way. The manga fucking rules. Sorry for the slipping of the swearing, but yes, the manga rules. I can't recommend it enough. If you like dudes fighting and beating the shit out of each other, this doesn't get any better than this. It's actually amazing. And then finally, we have Destroy All Humans. They Cannot Be Regenerated. This is a Magic the Gathering manga. We're only like a couple issues in for the English translation, and I love it. I absolutely adore this. You know, I don't play Magic anymore, but Magic has a really, really special place in my heart. It's the first TCG that I ever played. I started playing in 1995 with 4th edition. So, yeah, I love this, and I love the characters, and it's kind of like a sort of romancy slice of life, but it's with magic. It's actually really good. And so these are the 3 that I would recommend that I'm enjoying right now, that I keep up with. So those are my manga recommendations. Here we have been subscribed recently. Thank you, appreciated. So my question is, what is the oddest or most off-brand sponsorship offer I have received? I get a lot of weird-ass sponsorship offers. I turn down like 90% of them, or I just don't respond to them. I've gotten stuff like patio furniture, back massagers, like weird like gels and stuff. Just a lot of random stuff. I think after my channel reached a certain size, I have the section that's just like, for business inquiries, email here. And that email gets a ton of random crap. Sometimes I get cool ones and I'm like, yeah, let's go for it. Sometimes I get ones that I'm like, yeah, let's go for it, and they just never email me back. Like, I got one for Girls Frontline 2, and I was like, yeah, let's do that. Because, like, I like Girls Frontline 2, I actually play it, and I know members of my community on the Discord play it. So I was like, this actually makes a lot of sense for a sponsorship. But they just never got back to me, so. C'est la vie. But, yeah, I got a lot of weird ones. Unless it has to do with the channel, and that I think, the audience would like, resonate with the audience, I just turn them down. Even though that is money, I do have standards, so the standards are pretty high. Basically, you got to be a card game, and even that, like card game and card game accessory stuff, I turn down a lot of them, because once again, I have some standards. So yeah. Anyway, let's go on to the next one. Congrats on 20K. My question is, how early did Grand Archive reach out to me about the collab? I've been wanting to know since I saw the collab in the first set. So for those who don't know, I do have a collab card in the first Grand Archive set. It's the Korhazi Courier. Let me go ahead and... Yep, so here's the Korhazi Courier. You can even see on the bottom here says collab Red Zone Row. Go check your own physical copies. You will see it there too. And essentially the TLDR about this is they approached me when the first set was still being developed. I think the Kickstarter had ended, and they were currently developing all the stuff. And yeah, the devs reached out to me directly about doing a collaboration featuring my character Katsumi here. And I did have some say into the design of this card. I did not design it, but what I did is I gave them all the design documents for the character, for Katsumi. I do have design documents for Katsumi. This was like her older version where her hair was entirely blue, where now her hair is like dual color. Basically I was like, should be an ally because it's Katsumi, and I wanted fire. And at the time in development, all of the super rares and ultra rares had been made already. So I had to choose between common, uncommon, and rare. And after talking with Silidar about it, he was like, well, we could make it a rare, but if it was uncommon, we could still make it strong, but it would be easier for your fans to find in packs. And I was like, that makes a lot of sense. And so, and then, you know, instead of just making it common. So I like the nice little balance of it being findable, but also being strong. And yo, they really, really delivered on this. I think this card is actually legitimately insanely good. So I'm a big fan of how this turned out. And, you know, I think it's all aged very well. I still a huge fan of Grand Archive, still big supporter. I want to help grow this game as much as possible. Yeah, I think at this point in time, you can say it's easily one of my favorite games ever made. So I can't say enough about Grand Archive, and definitely a decision that I didn't make lightly of putting like my own name and brand on this, but I had a lot of faith in the game and in the devs after talking with them quite a bit. So yeah, it's got a little bit of the backstory into that. All right, second to last question. The next question will be the winner. So this person says, I'm a Wheatcross main, favorite Elrig, deck color, and why. So let's go ahead and pull up the Google again. So my favorite Elrig in Wheatcross is Alfu, and you can tell that because from the Google search, Wheatcross Alfu, hey look, it's one of my videos with a thumbnail with Alfu in it. Yeah, she's my favorite character in Wheatcross. She has her own manga, which I do have. Yeah, I really like the whole like silver hair, white hair with the red eyes kind of vibes. Some of my own characters have silver hair and or red eyes. Well, Vea has like golden eyes, and then villain Asami has red eyes. I do like the whole red eyes aspect. I just really like her. I like her design. I just think she's super cool, and I love the way she plays. Black is my favorite color in Wheatcross as well. I even have this. I have this Valentine's promo of her. So yeah. And then why? She just plays really well. She has a really sweet turbo mill strategy. She can also, kill things. Like, I don't know. She just does things that I enjoy. So, yeah, I like her. I like her a lot. All right. So now we've come down to it. The winner. You've watched this long. Oh man, I think this is gonna be a long one. The winner of the giveaway is Kodiak 308. And they have their question here, but I also have their actual like full question that we're going to answer. But Kodiak 308, congratulations on winning the 20K subscriber giveaway. Yeah, all you need to do is you need to DM me with a screenshot of the notification that you're going to get for me pinning and hearting your comment on the previous video. So I'm gonna be doing that like now, like after this, after I'm done recording this, and yeah, you just need to DM me on either Twitter or Facebook, a screenshot of the or even on Discord if you're in the Discord, screenshot with the notification as well as your shipping address, and then I'll ship it to you. So let's answer your question. So let's pull up the question here, and that is. Congratulations on 20K. Living in a rural area without an LGS near me. Your channel has helped me stay updated. Excellent. My question is there a specific mechanic gameplay style that you would like to see integrated into a TCG? At this point in time, not really. I do really like games that don't incorporate resources into the main deck. So you can have your main deck just filled with gas, right? So it feels good drawing cards. And then also games that allow you to draw multiple cards a turn. It's one of the things that I liked so much about Flesh and Blood, is that essentially you draw like 4 cards a turn. And games like Wheatcross where you draw 2 cards a turn, I think those are just fun. Like games that maximize fun things are things that I just want to see more of in TCG. So when I'm evaluating a new card game, these are the kind of things that I look at. Like, how many cards do you draw per turn? What's the resource system look like? Or how easy is it to come back from like tempo disadvantage? This kind of stuff. And so there's no like specific mechanic that I want to see. But like I just generally think like drawing cards and like having a integrated like a resource system that doesn't require you to use cards in hand, I think is always just lends itself to be more fun. And I want to see more fun things in TCGs. All right, and that's that. Thank you so much for checking out this Q&A. It's like gonna be pretty long, a lot longer than I thought. I was like, it'll be like 20 minutes. It's like an hour. It's probably gonna be like an hour even after editing everything else out. But thank you so much so much for taking the time to hang out today, to listen to me just yap about random crap. I still have the figure right here. She's just been sitting here since I pulled her off the thing. Haven't brought her back. Look at, she's beautiful. And thank you for being part of the community, for subscribing and everything. It really means the world to me. And it's, like I said, it's one of those things where I'm like, I know what I'm doing is not like the optimal thing to do on YouTube. I know it's like, I could be bigger if I just covered more popular games, if I like covered Magic or Pokemon or even like One Piece or something like that, but that's not what I'm passionate about. And I'm so thankful that folks kind of resonate with what I'm actually doing. It makes it, worth it. Even at Ascent Seattle, I had so many people come up to me and be like, hey, I love what you do. You got me into Grand Archive. And that's just like, man, that's like the best. So thank you all so much for being here. If you can ever make it out to an event that I'm at, don't feel free to stop me. Don't feel bad about like stopping me or whatever. I'm always happy to talk to folks from the community. Yeah. So thanks so much again. It really means a lot. Thank you all for everyone who I'm getting tongue-tied here. Thank you to everyone who entered the giveaway. I really appreciate it. I read everyone's questions, and yeah. So cheers. Here's to another 20K. My big goal is 100K. I don't even know. No YouTuber has done what I do and gotten to 100K. So we'll see. Maybe someday. I don't know. But in either case, I love what I'm doing, and I'm so thankful for it. So thank you, genuinely. And then congratulations to Kodiak308. Like I said, message me, and I'll send that out to you. And stay tuned for more stuff. We'll do more giveaways and whatnot in the future. I have some ideas for some upcoming Grand Archive stuff, starter deck tournaments. Yeah. And we also have more merch store things if you want to support. Check out the merch store as we showed. We have another mecha themed one coming, and ooh, it's gonna be real cool. Same artist, Pinakes, but we have a little bit of a more dastardly, I don't want to say evil, but antagonistic slant on this one. So yeah, stay tuned. Thanks so much, everyone. We'll see you later.